My mom banned my kids from Thanksgiving to protect my sister's nap time, so I silently froze all their assets, watched their world fall apart. I'm 34 female, married with 2 kids, 8 and 5. My sister Emma is 29 female with 3 kids, 6, 4 and 2. We've always had a complicated relationship, but what happened at Thanksgiving finally made me realize just how deep the favoritism runs in my family. Here's what my family doesn't talk about. I've been financially supporting them for years. After Dad died 5 years ago, Mom struggled. Her house needed major repairs, utilities were getting cut off, and she was drowning in medical bills from Dad's cancer treatment. Being the older sister with a decent job in tech, I stepped in. I quietly added Mom to several of my credit cards. I set up automatic payments for her utilities. I even opened a joint checking account where I deposit money monthly for her groceries and expenses. When Emma went through her messy divorce 2 years ago, I extended the same help to her. Her rent, her car payment, her kids' daycare. I covered it all through various accounts and cards. I never made a big deal about it. I never held it over anyone's heads. I just helped because that's what family does, right? The only person who knew the full extent of my financial support was my husband, Mark. He'd been increasingly frustrated watching my family take advantage of my generosity while treating me like an afterthought. They use you like an ATM, he'd say. I always defended them. We drove 3 hours to Mom's house for Thanksgiving. The kids were excited to see their cousins and Grandma. We brought pies, games for the kids, and wine for the adults, normal family stuff. When we knocked on the door at 2 p.m., the time Mom had specified, she answered with this weird panicked expression. "Oh no, you can't come in right now," she whispered urgently. "Emma's kids are napping. They had such a hard night and Emma really needs them to sleep. You'll have to wait in the car." I stared at her. "Wait in the car? Mom, it's Thanksgiving. We drove 3 hours. I know, honey, but Emma's been having such a difficult time, and the kids were up all night. We can't risk waking them." That's when Emma appeared behind Mom, looking completely unbothered. She was dressed up, hair done, makeup perfect, not like someone dealing with exhausted, cranky children. "Hey sis," she said cheerfully. "I hope you don't take it seriously. It's just that my kids need their routine, you know. Maybe come back in like 2 hours. I looked past them into the house. I could see Emma's husband lounging on the couch watching football. I could smell the turkey cooking. The dining table was set for exactly 5 people. My 8-year-old daughter tugged on my sleeve. "Mommy, why can't we go inside? I need to use the bathroom." "Emma's kids are sleeping, sweetheart," I said, my voice surprisingly steady. "We need to wait, but I really need to go." Emma shrugged. "There's a gas station about 10 minutes down the road." That's when it hit me. This wasn't about napping children. The dining table was set for 5 people, Mom, Emma, her husband, and her 2 older kids. There was no plan to include us. We were an inconvenience they were hoping would just go away. My 5-year-old started crying. "I want to see Grandma." Mom looked uncomfortable but didn't budge. "I'm sorry, but Emma's right. Her kids need their sleep." I stared at my mother for a long moment. This woman whose mortgage I've been helping with, whose credit cards I've been paying off, whose utilities I kept on when she couldn't afford them. "Okay," I said quietly, "we'll go." "Great. Come back around 4, maybe 5, Emma called out as I turned away. I walked back to the car where Mark was waiting with a grim expression. He'd heard everything through the open windows. "We're leaving," I told him. "Thank God," he muttered, starting the car. The kids cried the entire first hour of the drive home. My daughter kept asking why Grandma didn't want to see them. My son asked if they'd been bad. I had no answers that wouldn't destroy their image of their grandmother. Mark was furious. "This is it," he said. "I'm done watching them treat you like garbage while you fund their lives." "I know," I said. And I did know. Something had shifted in me permanently. We got home around 7 p.m. After I got the kids settled with pizza and a movie, our consolation Thanksgiving dinner, I went to my office and opened my laptop. I started with the joint checking account I shared with Mom, froze it immediately, and removed her access. Balance? $2,847 that I'd deposited for her November expenses. Next, I called the credit card companies. 4 different cards that Mom was an authorized user on, plus 3 that Emma had access to, canceled them all. When they asked for reasons, I just said unauthorized use concerns. Then I logged into the utility company websites. Mom's electric, gas, and water were all on autopay from my accounts, canceled every single automatic payment. Her bills were now her responsibility. Emma's rent autopay, gone. Car payment, canceled. The credit card I'd given her for emergencies that she used for everything from groceries to her kids' clothes, deactivated. I also canceled the family phone plan that included Mom and Emma's lines. They could figure out their own cell service. The whole process took about 2 hours and several glasses of wine. Mark sat with me through all of it, occasionally asking, "Are you sure?" I was sure. The final step was removing myself from the family group chat and blocking everyone's numbers except Mom's. I kept hers unblocked only in case of genuine emergencies. My phone started ringing at 6:47 a.m. The next morning, Mom's number. I let it go to voicemail. Then Emma's number calling from her husband's phone since hers was cut off, voicemail. Then my aunt's number, uncle's number, even my teenage cousin somehow got my number. By noon, I had 23 voicemails and 67 text messages from various family members. The family group chat I'd removed myself from was apparently on fire, according to my cousin who texted me screenshots. Emma's first message in the chat: "Did anyone else's credit card just get declined? What the hell?" Mom's response: "My electricity just got shut off. The payment didn't go through. I don't understand." Then came the realization messages as they put it together. "Emma, wait. Where's my name in this chat? Mom, she's not showing up in my contacts either. Did she block us? My aunt, what did you two do now?" I finally listened to them that evening. They were something. Mom's first voicemail: "Honey, I think there's been some kind of mistake with the credit cards and utilities. Can you call me back? My power is out and I don't know what happened." Mom's second voicemail: "I really need you to call me back. Emma is saying her card isn't working either. I don't understand what's happening." Emma's first voicemail: "Okay, what the hell? My rent payment didn't go through, my phone's cut off. And Mom says you're not answering. This isn't funny." Mom's third voicemail: "I talked to Emma, and we think maybe someone hacked your accounts. We're really worried. Please call us back." Emma's second voicemail: "I know you're getting these messages. This is seriously messed up. I have 3 kids to feed and you just cut off my grocery money. What is wrong with you?" Mom's fourth voicemail: "Your aunt says you blocked everyone. I don't understand what we did wrong. We were going to include you in dinner yesterday. We just needed Emma's kids to sleep first. Please don't punish us for trying to keep the peace." Emma's third voicemail: "You're being a psychotic. Get over yourself and turn my cards back on. My kids need to eat." Mom's fifth voicemail: "Emma shouldn't have called you names, but honey, please. I can't afford my medication without the credit card. We can talk about whatever's bothering you." The voicemails continued throughout the day, getting increasingly desperate and hostile by turns. Emma's husband even called to inform me I was destroying children's lives and that they were going to sue me. By day 3, they'd mobilized the entire extended family. My phone was ringing constantly with relatives I hadn't heard from in years, all telling me I was being cruel and vindictive, and that I needed to think about the children. My aunt left a particularly memorable voicemail: "I don't know what happened at Thanksgiving, but this is not how we handle family problems. Those children depend on you, and you're acting like a spoiled brat." My uncle's message: "Your mother raised you better than this. She's sitting in the dark because you're throwing a tantrum. Fix this." Even my elderly grandmother called: "Sweetheart, I don't understand what's happening, but your mother is very upset. She says you won't return her calls. Family comes first, you know that." Finally, on day 4, my cousin Amy called. Amy's always been the straight shooter in the family, and she was the only one I answered. "What the hell is going on?" she asked immediately. "Mom saying you've lost your mind and cut everyone off financially. Emma is posting on Facebook about family betrayal. Aunt Mom's name is calling everyone crying." I explained the Thanksgiving incident, but Amy interrupted me. "Wait, back up. You've been paying for their utilities and credit cards for how long?" "Years, Amy. I've been covering Mom's basic expenses since Dad died, and Emma's rent and car since her divorce. Silence on the other end. Jesus Christ, Amy finally said. Nobody knew. We all thought they were doing fine. Emma's been posting pictures of expensive dinners and new clothes for the kids. All of my credit cards, and they left you sitting in the car on Thanksgiving with your kids. Told us to go to a gas station so my 5-year-old could use the bathroom. More silence. Amy, I never asked for gratitude, but I also didn't expect to be treated like an inconvenience. They didn't even set places for us at dinner. Oh my God. They planned to exclude you completely. That's what it looked like. Amy sighed deeply. No wonder you cut them off. I would have done the same thing. Amy, bless her, apparently shared the real story with other family members. The narrative began to shift once people understood that I'd been financially supporting Mom and Emma while they treated me like garbage. My uncle called back with a very different tone. I owe you an apology. I had no idea you'd been helping your mother all these years. What they did on Thanksgiving was wrong. Some relatives started reaching out to offer support instead of criticism. Turns out several of them had also felt excluded or mistreated by Mom and Emma over the years but had assumed it was just personality conflicts. As the bills piled up and reality set in, Mom's voicemails became increasingly frantic. Please, I know you're angry but I can't afford groceries. Emma and I talked, and we realized we made a mistake. Can we meet somewhere to discuss this? I'm going to lose the house if I can't make the mortgage payment. Is that what you want? For your mother to be homeless? I don't understand why you're doing this. We're a family. Yes, Thanksgiving didn't go perfectly, but this punishment doesn't fit the crime. Emma, meanwhile, was having a complete public meltdown on social media. She posted a long Facebook rant about toxic family members who abandoned children and financial abuse. She started a GoFundMe claiming she was being financially terrorized by a vindictive family member. The GoFundMe raised exactly $127 before Amy and my other cousin started commenting with the real story. It was taken down within 24 hours. Emma then tried a different approach, having her kids call me. My 6-year-old niece left a voicemail asking why I didn't love them anymore and if I was mad at them. That one actually got to me. I had Mark call Emma's husband and make it clear that using the children as emotional manipulation would result in me documenting everything for potential legal action. The kid calls stopped. Once the real story came out, family dynamics shifted dramatically. My grandmother, who had initially called to scold me, called back to apologize. I had no idea you'd been supporting them. Dear, that changes everything. What they did on Thanksgiving was terrible, especially after all you've done. Several aunts and uncles who had initially pressured me to reconcile started sharing their own stories about Mom and Emma's entitled behavior over the years. My Aunt Sarah, your mother, asked me for a loan last year, claiming she was struggling. I felt terrible saying no. Now I find out you were covering everything. She was probably planning to spend my money on wants, not needs. Uncle Mike, Emma always seemed to have money for new clothes and dinners out. I wondered how she managed it as a single mom. Now it makes sense. 2 weeks after Thanksgiving, Amy called to warn me that Mom and Emma were planning an intervention. They were going to show up at my house with several family members to talk sense into me. Don't let them in, Amy advised. Mom's telling everyone you've had some kind of mental breakdown and need help. She's playing the victim hard. They never showed up at my house, but they did corner Mark when he stopped for gas near his office. Mom and Emma were waiting in the parking lot. According to Mark, Mom immediately started crying and begging him to talk sense into me. Emma demanded to know what I wanted from them to fix this. Mark's response was perfect. She wanted to be treated like family instead of an ATM. You had your chance and blew it. When Emma started yelling about her kids needing stability, Mark cut her off. You should have thought about that before you told her kids to piss in a gas station bathroom while you enjoyed Thanksgiving dinner they weren't invited to. Without my financial support, the reality of their situations became apparent quickly. Mom had to get a roommate to help with mortgage payments. She also had to return to work part-time, something she'd avoided because I was covering her expenses. Emma had to move to a smaller, cheaper apartment. She got a second job and had to put the youngest in cheaper daycare. Her social media posts about expensive dinners and shopping trips stopped completely. Emma's husband, who had been working part-time while I subsidized their lifestyle, suddenly had to find full-time employment. Neither of them filed for any kind of assistance programs, which tells me they were managing fine financially. They just preferred spending my money to their own. As Christmas approached, the pressure campaign intensified. Mom started sending cards about family forgiveness and children who need their aunt. Emma sent me a long email detailing her kids' Christmas wish lists and asking if I wanted to contribute for the sake of the children. My response was simple: I'll be sending the kids gifts directly. Your financial planning is no longer my concern. I did send presents to Emma's kids and plan to visit my grandmother separately for Christmas. The kids deserve to have their aunt in their lives, but I'm done enabling their parents. It's been 6 weeks since Thanksgiving. My phone has finally stopped ringing constantly, though I still get the occasional guilt trip voicemail. Mom has mostly given up on direct appeals and now works through other family members. Last week, my aunt reported that Mom is telling people I destroyed the family over a minor misunderstanding. Emma is still posting passive-aggressive social media content about people who abandon children and fair-weather family members. But here's what they don't understand. I didn't abandon anyone. I stopped allowing them to take advantage of me. There's a difference. Cutting off my financial support to them has actually improved my own family situation significantly. That monthly money I was sending them, it's now going into my kids' college funds and our own savings. My marriage is stronger. Mark no longer has to watch his wife get treated like garbage by people who were literally living off her generosity. The stress and resentment that was building between us is gone. My kids haven't asked about Thanksgiving after the first week. Kids are resilient, and they're not missing the toxic dynamics I was trying to shield them from. I spent years telling myself I was helping family, but I was actually enabling them to treat me poorly. When someone can disrespect you without consequences, they will. Financial support should never come at the cost of your dignity or your children's well-being. If someone can take your money but can't treat your kids with basic kindness, they don't deserve either. Family isn't about blood relations. It's about mutual respect, love, and support. The people who immediately understood why I was hurt and supported my decision, they're my real family. Am I sad that my relationship with my mother and sister is probably permanently damaged? Yes. Do I regret my decision? Not for a second. My children will never again have to sit in a car crying because their grandmother values their cousin's nap schedule over their basic needs. They'll never see their mother treated like an inconvenience by people who should love her. I've established a clear boundary. I will not provide financial support to people who don't treat me and my family with respect. That boundary is non-negotiable. If Mom and Emma want a relationship with me and my kids, they need to start treating us like family instead of like an ATM with annoying emotional needs. 3 days ago, I got a call from my grandmother. Apparently, Mom has been telling people that I stole money from her by freezing the joint account. She's claiming I took thousands of dollars that belonged to her. For anyone wondering, every penny in that account came from my paychecks. I have bank records going back 5 years proving it. But the fact that she's now trying to paint me as a thief tells me everything I need to know about her character. I've instructed my lawyer to send a cease and desist letter regarding any claims that I stole money. I'm also documenting everything in case I need to take legal action for defamation. Some bridges once burned can't be rebuilt, and sometimes that's exactly what needs to happen. To anyone dealing with similar family dynamics, you don't owe anyone your financial stability in exchange for basic human decency. You don't have to light yourself on fire to keep others warm, especially when they complain about the smoke. Family members who truly love you won't make you choose between supporting them financially and being treated with respect. Those aren't the only two options. I'm at peace with my decision. My children are happier, my marriage is stronger, and my bank account is healthier. The people who matter understand why I did what I did. As for Mom and Emma, they had years to appreciate what I was doing for them. They chose to take it for granted while treating me like an inconvenience. That was their choice. This was mine. So, this situation has taken another interesting turn. About 2 weeks after I sent that cease and desist letter about Mom's theft claims, I got a call from a lawyer, not my lawyer, theirs. Apparently, Emma convinced Mom that they should sue me for breach of verbal contract regarding financial support. Their lawyer called to inform me that they were seeking damages for sudden withdrawal of promised financial assistance and emotional distress caused to minor children. I actually laughed when my lawyer read me their demand letter. They wanted $50,000 in damages plus restoration of all financial support. The best part, they claimed I had a moral and legal obligation to continue funding their lifestyle because they had structured their lives around my promises. My lawyer's response was swift and brutal. He sent them documentation of every payment I'd made over 5 years totaling over $180,000 along with screenshots of Emma's social media posts showing expensive purchases made on my credit cards. He also included witness statements from family members about the Thanksgiving incident. The coup de grace was a counter-threat. If they pursued their frivolous lawsuit, I would sue them for the full amount I provided over the years, claiming it was all loans that they defaulted on. Their lawyer dropped them as clients within 48 hours. Emma's social media campaign against me reached new heights of desperation. She started posting memories, old photos of family gatherings with captions like "Before my sister decided money was more important than family," and "When we were actually a family, not just ATM transactions." The posts got increasingly unhinged. She shared a photo of her kids looking sad with a caption, "When your aunt punishes children because she's mad at their mom." She even posted a picture of past Christmas gifts I'd given the kids, writing, "Back when Aunt My Name actually loved her nieces and nephews." But Emma made a crucial mistake. She posted a photo of herself at an expensive restaurant from last month, after I'd cut off financial support, with a caption, "Treating myself because I deserve happiness despite family drama." Several people immediately commented asking how she could afford expensive dinners if she was struggling so much financially. Emma deleted the post within an hour, but screenshots live forever. Amy made sure to save it and share it with other family members as evidence of Emma's manipulation. About a month ago, I got a frantic call from my aunt. Mom was in the hospital with chest pains, and they thought it might be a heart attack. I dropped everything and drove to the hospital immediately, genuinely terrified. Turns out it was anxiety and stress, not a heart attack. But while I was sitting in the waiting room, Emma cornered me. "Look what you've done to her," she hissed. "Mom's in the hospital because of the stress you're causing. Are you happy now?" Before I could respond, she continued. "The doctor said financial stress is a major trigger for anxiety attacks. You're literally making our mother sick." I stared at her for a long moment. "Emma, Mom is stressed because she's having to face reality for the first time in 5 years. That's not my fault. You could fix this right now. One phone call to restore the credit cards, and she'd be fine. She'd be fine until the next time you both decide to treat me like garbage. Then we'd be right back here." Emma's voice got louder. "She raised you. She sacrificed everything for us. How can you be so ungrateful?" "Sacrificed what, Emma? I've been paying her bills since Dad died." "What exactly has she sacrificed?" That's when Mom appeared from her hospital room, looking perfectly fine and obviously having heard our conversation. "Girls, please don't fight in the hospital," she said weakly, though she'd been laughing with nurses 5 minutes earlier. I kissed Mom's forehead and told her I was glad she was okay. Then I left. I wasn't going to be guilted into fixing a situation that wasn't my fault while standing in a hospital hallway. The most unexpected development has been the alliance that formed among some of my cousins. Amy, Mike, my uncle's son, and Sarah, my aunt's daughter, have been comparing notes about Mom and Emma's behavior over the years. Turns out Emma had hit up Amy for money 6 months ago, claiming she couldn't afford her kids' school supplies. Amy gave her $200 only to see Emma posting about a spa day the next week. Mike revealed that Emma had asked him to co-sign a loan for a reliable used car, then showed up to the next family gathering in a brand new SUV. When he asked about it, she claimed she'd gotten a great deal and didn't need the loan anymore. Sarah shared that Mom had asked her to pay for emergency home repairs, providing estimates for urgent foundation work. Sarah was going to help until her contractor husband offered to take a look. When he examined Mom's house, he found no foundation issues whatsoever. We realized that while I was subsidizing their major expenses, they were running side scams on other family members for extras and luxuries. I wasn't just their primary ATM. I was making their secondary grifts possible by covering their basic needs. Something that's been weighing on me heavily is how this has affected my relationship with Emma's children. I love those kids, and I've been worried about how they're processing all this family drama. Last week, Amy brought her daughter to play with my kids. While the kids were playing, Amy mentioned that her daughter had talked to Emma's oldest at school. According to the 6-year-old conversation, Emma's daughter asked why I don't come to family things anymore. Amy's daughter, being brutally honest as kids are, said, "My mom says your mom was mean to Aunt My Name and her kids, so now Aunt My Name doesn't want to come anymore." Emma's daughter apparently thought about this and said, "My mom says Aunt My Name is the mean one, but she still sends us presents. Mean people don't send presents. Kids have a way of cutting through adult BS, don't they?" This conversation convinced me to reach out to Emma directly about maintaining a relationship with the kids that doesn't involve their parents. I sent her a text proposing that I could take the kids for occasional outings, zoo trips, movies, etc., without any financial support or interaction with her beyond basic coordination. Her response: "If you want to see my kids, you can start by paying my rent again. They're not your toys to play with when you feel like being an aunt." That text is now saved in my phone as a permanent reminder of exactly who I'm dealing with. Christmas provided the most enlightening episode yet. I decided to visit my grandmother separately from the main family gathering, bringing my kids to see her on Christmas Eve. When we arrived at Grandma's house, she had something to show me. Emma had visited her earlier that week and given her a Christmas card, which turned out to be a printed copy of my credit card statements from before I cut them off. Emma had highlighted all the charges she'd made and written notes in the margins like clothes for the kids, necessary expenses, and groceries for the family. At the bottom she'd written, "Grandma, this shows how much My Name owes us for taking care of Mom all these years." I stared at the papers in shock. "Grandma, you know these are charges Emma made on my credit card, right? This is money I gave them." Grandma nodded sadly. "I figured that out, dear. But Emma seemed to think these papers proved you owed her money. She asked me to talk to you about making things right financially." The audacity was breathtaking. Emma had taken my credit card statements showing my money that she spent and tried to present them as evidence that I owed her money. Grandma patted my hand. "I've lived through enough family drama to recognize manipulation when I see it. That girl has gotten too comfortable depending on others. What's emerged from all this chaos is actually a healthier family structure. The relatives who understood my position and supported my decision have become closer to me and my family. We've started having our own smaller gatherings without the drama and manipulation. Amy and I have started a monthly dinner tradition with our kids. Mike and his wife invite us to their kids' sporting events. Sarah and I have been texting regularly, something that never happened when I was focused on managing Mom and Emma's constant crises. These relationships feel genuine in a way that my interactions with Mom and Emma never did. There's no underlying tension about money, no walking on eggshells to avoid triggering a financial emergency, no feeling like I'm being evaluated based on my usefulness rather than my worth as a person. My husband has been incredibly gracious about being right all along, though he has had a few "I told you so" moments that were entirely justified. The biggest one came when Mom called him directly after I'd made it clear I wasn't taking her calls, to ask him to talk sense into me. According to Mark, she spent 20 minutes listing all the ways I was being unreasonable and selfish. Mark listened patiently, then asked, "How much money has My Name given you over the past 5 years?" Mom apparently couldn't give him a number, claiming she'd never kept track because it wasn't about money. Mark had kept track. He told her the exact amount, $187,000 over 5 years, not counting the credit card interest and late fees I'd paid. "So," Mark continued, "you're telling me that someone who gave you almost $200,000 and asked for nothing in return except to be treated like family is the selfish one, because she got upset when you wouldn't let her kids use your bathroom on Thanksgiving?" Mom hung up on him. That night, Mark looked at me and said, "I should have pushed harder for you to cut them off years ago. I'm sorry I let you sacrifice so much for people who never appreciated it." 3 weeks ago, I got the most shocking call of this entire ordeal. Emma's ex-husband, the father of her kids, called me out of the blue. "I need to apologize to you," he said immediately, "and I need to tell you something about Emma that you should know." Turns out during their divorce proceedings, Emma had told the court that she had substantial family financial support that would continue post-divorce. She'd used my financial assistance as evidence that she could maintain the kids' standard of living without needing higher child support payments. Her ex-husband had assumed this meant Mom was wealthy and helping out. He had no idea it was me providing the support, or that it was voluntary rather than guaranteed. She basically used your generosity to reduce my child support obligation, he told me. If I had known you were the one paying for everything, and that it could be cut off at any time, I would have fought for a different arrangement. He's now going back to court to modify the child support agreement, arguing that Emma misrepresented her financial situation. Apparently, Emma's current financial struggles are making it clear that the family support she claimed was not as reliable as she'd represented. I just wanted you to know, he concluded, because Emma has been telling everyone you're hurting the kids, but the truth is she used you to hurt the kids financially in the divorce, and now she's mad that you won't let her keep doing it. It's been almost 4 months since Thanksgiving now, and I can honestly say my life has improved dramatically. The constant financial drain is gone. The stress of managing Mom and Emma's crises is gone, and the resentment that was building in my marriage is gone. My kids are thriving. Without the tension of those toxic family dynamics, our home is peaceful. We're taking a real vacation this summer with the money I'm no longer sending to support people who treated me poorly. I've started therapy to work through the guilt and grief of losing these relationships, even though I know I made the right choice. It's helping me understand how I got into the pattern of accepting poor treatment in exchange for feeling needed. The therapist pointed out something interesting. By always rescuing Mom and Emma from the consequences of their choices, I was actually preventing them from growing and becoming self-sufficient. My help had become enablement. Last week, I got a message from a number I didn't recognize. It was Emma texting from yet another phone since hers keeps getting shut off. The kids are asking about you again. Youngest daughter has been crying because she misses her aunt. Are you really going to let an argument between adults hurt innocent children? For a moment, I felt the familiar tug of guilt and responsibility. Then I remembered Emma's previous response when I'd offered to maintain a relationship with the kids separately from her. They're not your toys to play with when you feel like being an aunt. I screenshotted that old message and sent it back to her without comment. She responded immediately. That was different. I was upset. You know I didn't mean it. My response, Emma. I offered to have a relationship with the kids that didn't involve supporting you financially. You said no and tried to use them as leverage to get money from me. This is the consequence of that choice. I was protecting them from mixed messages. No, you are using them as pawns. If you want me in their lives, it has to be on terms that don't involve me funding your lifestyle. That offer stands, but I won't discuss it over text messages from burner phones. She hasn't responded, and I don't expect her to. Admitting that her children's relationship with their aunt matters less to her than maintaining financial control would require more self-awareness than she's shown so far. People keep asking if I win this situation, and I think I finally know the answer. I didn't win against Mom and Emma. This was never about beating them. I won back my self-respect, my financial security, and my family's peace. I won the right to be treated with basic human decency without having to pay for it. I won my children's right to be welcomed by their extended family instead of treated like inconveniences. I won my husband's respect for finally standing up for myself and our family. Most importantly, I won the knowledge that I can set boundaries and stick to them, even when it's hard, and even when people I love try to manipulate me into backing down. That's not revenge, that's just self-respect, and it's the best gift I've ever given myself.